fisheries that had allegedly transgressed the waters beyond Kachativu Islet. The opposition has also targeted the centre for not doing enough in the northeast, where India frequently disputes Chinese claims on Indian land. The latest, of course, viewers, with regards to Arunachal Pradesh. The Chinese releasing a list of names for Arunachal Pradesh and, of course, a large number of other towns and cities and locales in Arunachal Pradesh. Today, in a forceful negation of the opposition campaign, the Union Defence Minister, in a rare interview, told CNN News 18's editor-in-chief Rahul Joshi that the Modi government has not hesitated to take the road less travelled to neuter aggression against India. He was specifically asked about the manner in which the Modi government goes about ensuring that threats to India's sovereignty are dealt with firmly. Listen it.
कल ही जो है गार्डियन, फॉरेन पब्लिकेशन है गार्डियन, उसमें एक आर्टिकल आया है। उसमें कहा है, उस आर्टिकल ने कहा है कि जो है भारत ने पाकिस्तान की धरती में 20 लोगों को, 20 इंडिविजुअल्स को, टेररिस्ट को जो है पिछले कुछ सालों में मारा है, उन्हीं की धरती में जाके मारा है। और जो है इस पर तमाम क्या कहते हैं, उन्होंने बहुत रिसर्च की है, बहुत लोगों से बात की है। ये पहले हम लोगों के बारे में कनाडा में भी बोला गया, यूएस में भी ये चर्चा हुई पहले, पर पाकिस्तान की ये नई चर्चा है, 20 लोग। तो इसको आप कैसे देखते हैं कि ये क्या, उस आर्टिकल में ये भी कहा है कि जो है भारत जो है केजीबी और मोसाद से जो है काफ़ी इन्फ्लुएंस्ड है, तो उनकी भी जो इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसी है, रॉ वगैरह, इस तरीके का काम कर रही हैं। कोई स्लीपर सेल है यूएई में, उसने जो है इसमें उसका रोल रहा है। और 20 लोगों को, मतलब एक आध लोग नहीं, 20 टेररिस्ट को जो है हमने कुछ सालों में मारा है।
20 टेररिस्ट को मारा है?
हाँ जी, मतलब टेररिस्ट कह लीजिए, लोगों कह लीजिए, पर वहाँ उनकी धरती में मारा है।
कोई भी टेररिस्ट हमारे पड़ोसी देश से यदि भारत को डिस्टर्ब करने की कोशिश करेगा
जी,
यहाँ पर यदि आतंकवादी हरकतें करेगा तो उसका मुंह तोड़ जवाब देंगे। यदि वो भगकर पाकिस्तान में जाएगा तो पाकिस्तान में घुस कर मारेंगे।
तो ये बात आप मतलब कह रहे हैं, जो प्रधानमंत्री भी कह रहे हैं कि अब वो भारत नहीं रहा जो कि बगल में खड़े होकर तमाशा देखता रहेगा, घर में घुस कर मारेगा।
बिल्कुल, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो कहा है बिल्कुल सच कहा है, और यह ताकत है भारत की, और पाकिस्तान भी इसे समझने लगा है। वैसे भारत बराबर अपने पड़ोसी देशों के साथ अच्छे रिश्ते बनाकर रखना चाहता है, चाहे कोई भी हमारा पड़ोसी देश है। और आज देखा होगा आपने, पास्ट हिस्ट्री उठाकर देखिए कि आज तक न तो हमने दुनिया के किसी देश पर कभी आक्रमण किया है, अथवा आक्रमण की कोई पहल की हो, कभी नहीं किया, और न तो दुनिया के किसी देश की 1 इंच जमीन पर हम लोगों ने कभी कब्जा करने की कोशिश की है। यह भारत का चरित्र रहा है
जी।
लेकिन भारत को बार बार कोई आंख दिखाएगा, भारत में आकर आतंकवादी गतिविधियों को बढ़ावा कर देने की कोशिश करेगा, तो उसकी खैर नहीं है।
Drawing a very firm line, viewers, and Rajnath Singh's candid disclosures, of course, echoes the Prime Minister's own strident remarks admitting that unlike the Congress, the NDA had empowered forces to take out India's foes in their strongholds, even if these were located on foreign soil, especially in nations that are inimical to India's interests.
आपको याद होगा, हमारी सेना ने जब सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक और एयर स्ट्राइक की, तब कांग्रेस और उसके साथी क्या भाषा बोल रहे थे? इसी गठबंधन गठबंधन के लोग हमारी सेना से शौर्य के सबूत मांग रहे थे। भाइयों और बहनों, सेनाओं का अपमान, देश का विभाजन, ये कांग्रेस पार्टी की पहचान है। जब तक इंडी अलायंस के लोग सत्ता में रहे, इन्होंने हमारे जवानों के हाथ बांध कर रखे। दुश्मन हमला करके चला जाता था, ये जवानों को जवाब देने की इजाजत नहीं देते थे। हमारे जवान 1 रैंक 1 पेंशन की मांग करते थे, कांग्रेस ने इसे भी पूरा नहीं होने दिया। हमारी सरकार बनी तो हमने सैनिकों को वन रैंक वन पेंशन का अधिकार भी दिया और सीमा पर पलटवार करने की छूट भी, खुली छूट दे दी। आज दुश्मन को भी पता है ये मोदी है, ये नया भारत है, ये नया भारत घर में घुसकर मारता है।
The Prime Minister's statements come on the back of a disclosure by the British newspaper The Guardian, quoting Pakistan's intelligence agencies testifying to alleged Indian operations in Pakistan against Islamist terrorists. The Guardian report also references claims by the US and Canadian government that Indian intelligence agencies under Modi's watch have been carrying out Mossad and KGB-style killings on foreign soil. Let me take you through some of what this Guardian newspaper has put out, quoting, of course, Pakistan intelligence. Now, viewers, why the Pakistani intelligence is giving out information in this sort of secretive manner, I can't understand. But that's a different matter. Why hasn't the Pakistani state come out and taken ownership of it? Obviously, because Pakistan looks absolutely emasculated. And an admission of this would only make it more problematic for Pakistani politicians of the day to face their own public. But nonetheless, viewers, this is what the Guardian report has said. The Indian government ordered killings of terrorists in Pakistan, assassinations of nearly 20 top terrorists since 2019, and you have been reading of reports of mysterious assassinations, killings, etc. of the leaders of many terror groups, viewers. And now, of course, the Pakistani intelligence has told the Guardian that the targeted killings increased significantly in 2023. India's wider anti-terror strategy since Pulwama, the intelligence agency is telling the Guardian, is that the targets were charged with violent terror offences and then locals employed in many cases to carry out murders. Documents show that RNAW directly involved in these killings, that Khalistani group members were targeted both in Pakistan and the West, and that killings orchestrated by Indian intel sleeper cells who are primarily operating out of the UAE. Now, viewers, if the Guardian thinks that this disclosure, that is a matter of fact, riddled with inaccuracies, some very glaring, is going to embarrass or put the Modi government on the defensive, then it is wrong. In fact, the BJP has used it as precious political grist to slam the opposition for suggesting that the NDA is doing nothing to secure India's interests. And remember, viewers, in the past, the UPA and the Congress have made certain strident allegations against the Modi government. Digvijay Singh, for example, said that they claim to have killed so many people, but no proof is given. Government is peddling a bundle of lies. This was, of course, after the Balakot strike carried out by the Indian Air Force. P. Chidambaram said natural to demand proof if the government is taking political ownership of military action. Rashid Alvi of the Congress had said government should not have a problem to show the video of surgical strikes. Again, all of this is with regards to Balakot. Sam Pitroda, Congress leader, said no clarity on whether government actually ordered the surgical strikes on terror launch pads. Akhilesh Yadav, the Samajwadi Party chief, said government must stop pretending to be the Indian army. We have every right to pose questions. Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi chief minister, has said government must show proof of surgical strikes to counter Pakistan's propaganda. There were many such reactions after Balakot, viewers. And of course, viewers, it also led to an actual conflagration where an Indian pilot fell on the other side of the LOC. Of course, he fell on Indian land and was returned in a show of Pakistani submission in the face of some tough talk, viewers. That in itself was an achievement, given the fact that several captives, Indian captives in Pakistan's care, if one might put it like that, have never been returned to India under previous administrations. Nonetheless, viewers, let's ask some candid questions, and let's begin tonight's show by speaking with Tehseen Poonawalla first. We also have Vivek Srivastava, Major General Bakshi. We have the BJP national spokesperson, and we also have, of course, Dr. Ranganathan. Now, Tehseen Poonawalla, the Guardian now endorsing what the NDA has claimed in the context of what it has been doing to neutralize Islamist terror threats from neighboring country Pakistan. Now we can obviously, given that it was not an official reaction, the Indian government is not going to officially react. But are you now at least going to say that, look, there is proactive counter-intelligence, counter-terror that is taking place? Or are we going to continually question the Modi government's so-called effeteness, as you put it, on this front?
Thank you for having me on the show, Rahul. At the onset, thank you to General Bakshi for his services to the nation. People like him make us safe. Now, two important points. Like you rightly said, the Indian government will not acknowledge this, and I think that the Indian government, whichever government it is, Congress or BJP, Modi or Manmohan Singh or anyone else, they do not carry out, they do not kill targets in other sovereign territories. I hold this extremely clear for my country, and I say this as a strong patriot, and this is the line of the government of India, and I stand by it. Number two, I also think that what the government has done with regards to two issues that have come in, especially the Panoon issue, I think vis-a-vis the Niger issue. With regards to the Panoon issue, I would like to compliment the US government on the way it's handled it with the Indian government in a very mature manner. So I think that is something that we should all be, we should give kudos to the current government on the relationship with US, and US has handled it maturely. Unlike Canada, that said, there was credible accusation and still not have been able to produce a shred of evidence with Niger. So there I stand by my government. As so far as other issues that are being brought out, I take the Guardian seriously. It's a very bad article with much errors. It should not have passed the first level of editorial test. And if you were the editor of the Guardian, Rahul, I know what you would have done to the reporter. That is a trashy article with absolutely no facts. So again, I'm not going to take that seriously. As so far as the surgical strikes are concerned, I want to again make one thing very clear. While yes, we are happy that the government of India did the surgical strikes, even if nobody died, I'm not saying nobody died, I'm saying even if nobody died, the fact that we entered Pakistan airspace at will and we struck is good enough. Yes, there was Abhinandan on our side that Pakistan had word and returned, but at the other hand, we now need to figure out that in the rest of our neighborhood, how we going to deal with western border of ours. Pakistan's eastern border is quiet, kudos, but we have a problem with China where the government has not been able to act. It has been very, very, for lack of another word, timid with China. It hasn't allowed, it's not been able to deal with China. It has been, its incompetence has been the result why we've lost 20 brave hearts, and the government of India needs to pull up its policy on China. Right now, what it's doing with Sri Lanka, right now, what it's doing with Maldives, the government needs to pull up and make sure that our neighborhood is safe. Kudos to them, Pakistan, but our eastern border is where we should be worried about.
Okay. Sanju Verma, quick response at the political level to Tehseen Poonawalla.
I don't know why you have to add that quick response, Rahul. That scares me at the outset when you say that. And I don't know, why is it that you did not mention my name in the introduction, simply saying national spokesperson? Even I need your proper introduction, to feel at ease.
Sanju Verma, your name precedes you. You precede your name. Everyone knows who you are.
Okay, that is on a lighter note. I'm amongst heavyweights like Tehseen and Mr. Ranganathan and of course General G.D. Bakshi. And how can I forget Vivek Srivastava? But be that as it may, on a more serious note, I will obviously rebut what Tehseen has to say. These days Tehseen has started playing the proverbial monkey balancer. ये चीजें तो बहुत अच्छी हैं, Yeah, please let me finish. ये चीजें तो बहुत अच्छी है मोदी सरकार की, but you know, then he will add a disclaimer and then he will list out some 100 imaginary negatives. Anyway, he may have his own compulsions, but I will say this: who capitulated in 1962? It was Pandit Nehru. Who signed a lame duck punch shield agreement with the Chinese in 1954? It was Pandit Nehru. Who gave away 38,000 square kilometers of Aksai Chin to the Chinese on a golden platter, saying not a blade of grass grows there, and when rebutted by his own colleague Mahavir Tyagi, saying that even my head is bald, I don't have a single strand of hair growing there. Should I decapitate myself? Pandit Nehru had no response. Which is the one lady, so-called Iron Lady, of India for many, despite an effective Shimla agreement, she could not secure the release of 54 Indian prisoners of war and gave away 93,000 prisoners of war of Pakistani origin to the Pakistanis. Thanks to whom today we have a festering problem called Pakistan occupied Kashmir. It is thanks to Indira Gandhi. Who gave away large parts of run of Kutch to Pakistan? It was Indira Gandhi. Forget about Aksai Chin. Who gave away large parts of Chumur, large parts of Benjok Valley, large parts of Tia Palnak, large parts of Chapji, and under whose aegis we saw Fort Zarawar at Benjok being, completely destroyed by the Chinese. It was again the Congress. Under whose aegis, as recently as in 2013, we saw 640 square kilometers being usurped by the Chinese. It was under the incompetent Manmohan dispensation, and who made a complete disaster of foreign policy thanks to that infamous Sharm el-Sheikh agreement. It was again Manmohan Singh / Sonia Gandhi's kitchen cabinet. And who had the audacity to go ahead with a surgical strike in 2016? It was Narendra Modi. Who undertook the Balakot strike, going 30 kilometers deep into the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area in 2019 in a rebuttal to our Pulwama strike, which had 44 of our CRPF bravehearts being martyred. It was again under the aegis of Narendra Modi. But forget warfare for the time being, very quickly in 30 seconds. And I will not even speak about the voluntary disengagement by Chinese in 2021, post the Galwan standoff. China has borders with at least 18 countries and has disputes with 24 odd nations. It was the first time in Indo-China history and in China's own history that it undertook a voluntary disengagement. That is the power of Narendra Modi, but most importantly this. Yes, one rank, one pension, thanks to Narendra Modi. Giving permanent commission to women in the armed forces, Narendra Modi. You had Avni Chaturvedi, the first woman pilot who flew a Mirage Bison in 2018, thanks to Narendra Modi. But don't forget, our defense exports were barely 686 crores in 2014. Today they are more than 16,000 crores, which is a 23 times jump.
Let me.
तो हम किसी पर उंगली नहीं उठाते, पर आप यदि हमें उंगली दिखाओगे, तो हम घर के अंदर घुसकर आपको
well, that's. I don't think the NDA is being unapologetic at all about what they are doing to counter threats to India. I mean, you couldn't have had a more candid enunciation of that than by the usually very careful Rajnath Singh. And I want to bring in Dr. Ranganathan on this point. Dr. Ranganathan, none of us, at least you aren't, I know, a fan of The Guardian. Right or wrong, factually inaccurate or not, Dr. Ranganathan, The Guardian has done for Modi what hundreds of adverts couldn't have. Let's be honest about it. Whether they quoted the wrong end of the stick provided by the Pakistani intelligence or they bumped off Pannun in their article or whatever it is. Would you not agree?
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Look, we all know this as a fact. The Guardian is second only to WhatsApp in spreading rumors and lies. I wouldn't even wrap my kachoris in it for fear of all that toxicity bleeding onto them. And as far as its Indian correspondent is concerned, Rahul, this is what probably transpired at her hiring. When asked to list her credentials, she said, "I'm illogical, irrational, hopelessly biased, fake news spreading, lie generating, Marx loving, India and Hindu hating school dropout.
Okay, well, be careful. You might get sued. Be careful. And we might get sued soon. They're not here to defend their fair name. But yes, I just want to add that caveat. Yes, Dr. Ranganath.
Sure. Yeah. At which point, after she had said all that, the interview board interrupted her and said, enough with the strengths. Tell us your weaknesses. No, to paraphrase Kennedy, ask not how these journalists became frauds. Ask how these frauds became journalists. Let me not go into the dollops of lies peddled in that Guardian piece. It is riddled with more errors than Sonny Corleone was with bullets. For heaven's sake, it shows the photo of an Indian army man as Riaz the terrorist killed. And it says the Khalistani terrorist Panun has been killed while the guy is still alive. But this is about something else, Rahul. This is about the hypocrisy of these white trailer trash dumbbells advocating two rules. One for the West and another for India. I'm old enough to remember, and I think you as well, Rahul, that when in 1985, Khalistanis blew up Air India flight 182, killing 329 innocents. Canadian Prime Minister then, Justin Trudeau's father, refused to hand over the A182 bombers, including the dreaded terrorist Parmar. And you know what his reason was? That India is not differential enough to the Queen. And you know who maintained pin drop silence? These turnips at Guardian. Fast forward to 2023, and Justin Trudeau, just like his father did 3 decades ago, is kowtowing to Khalistani terrorists just to placate the increasingly influential vote bank. And all these lapdogs in the foreign media, including the Guardian, are silent. But all of them congratulated America for killing al-Zawahiri on foreign land. They said, quote, killing al-Zawahiri is a step towards a safer world, unquote. But when it comes to someone that India designates as a terrorist, someone who is heading a terror outfit, suddenly they enter into an apoplectic fit. What was the Guardian quiet? Why was it quiet when the ISI killed the famous Baluch activist in Canada? Canada and the UK are doing nothing to stop the funding of secessionist groups in these countries who want to foment trouble in India. They attack our temples, our embassies, the making of kill lists, the grisly tableau showing Khalistanis gunning down our ex-prime minister. And what are they doing? Nothing. But the moment we go out and actively try and preempt these evil terrorists, all hell breaks loose. Finally, just 30 seconds. These thick as custard, Modi-hating semi-literates don't even realize that if they claim that through scheme and stealth, Modi has systematically wiped out 20 designated terrorists on foreign soil in the last 4 years, far from being outraged, 1 billion Indians would be jumping the line to vote for him. I mean, did any sensible American disapprove President Obama killing Osama on foreign soil? Which Indian wouldn't want his country safer through the leader taking steps to eliminate his enemies? ये तो सिर्फ झांकी है, दाऊद इब्राहिम बाकी है, सुन लो गार्डियन वालों.
Well, let me just say one thing. If Islamist terrorists are being eliminated, Vivek Srivastava and General Bakshi, the world is actually becoming a safer place. No, After all, no, you don't agree? Osama bin Laden, you don't agree? You don't agree?
No. Oh, I don't agree with your line. I don't agree with your line.
Oh, you don't agree with me. You want us to maybe send kachoris that Dr. Ranganathan spoke about to the likes of Hafiz Saeed.
Sir, we had 2 big rallies, one by the BJP spokesperson and the other one by Dr. Ranganathan. Give me some time and please listen to me now. First of all, we do not support this at all. Neither does the Indian government, as Tehseen rightly said. No Indian government is going to claim that it starts killing people on foreign soils. Neither does the government of India, and I support the Indian government in this. You are not supposed to do it. The solutions to all the problems have to be political through talks. You cannot
Vivek Srivastava, I am not saying it. The defense minister and the prime minister have come out and said कि हम घर में घुस के मारते हैं. And do you have fundamentally a problem with that? This is my simple baseline question to you.
Yes,
you do.
I do not think that is going to solve problems for you in the long run.
Right.
In the long run, only politically you can solve problems between nations. You have to talk. There have to be diplomatic solutions. If you start having wars and killings on foreign grounds, whether a declared war
Viewers,
or an undeclared
remember
war,
that this gentleman's boss, Sitaram Yechury, led a campaign to hug separatists in Kashmir. Let me tell you, there are pictures of that and I can bring them.
The
UPA, hang on 1 second. The UPA also welcomed the likes of Yasin Malik, who were pulling the trigger on Kashmiri Hindus into their... No, 1 second.
Is he an anti-national?
No, 1 second. Who?
Is my party anti-national? Is CPM anti-national? Is CPI anti-national?
Well, sir, you tell me. in one of your rallies,
Yes,
in
you
one of
have
your
a
rallies
question.
did not, I'm just asking
Yes.
a hype, no, I'm asking you, no, 1 second.
Rahul,
आप
Rahul,
सर हाथ हिला करके किसी को एंटी नेशनल नहीं बोल सकते राहुल
मैं
चंद्र
आपसे एक सवाल पूछूं
मैं आपको
मैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछूं विवेक श्रीवास्तव नहीं 1 minute let me ask a question. Do you want me to take you back to 2016 February when your student wing and its leaders, who are today at least one of them still in jail facing sedition charges, got up and said, Afzal Guru, तेरे कातिल जिंदा हैं and भारत तुम्हारे टुकड़े टुकड़े होंगे. Number one, number two. No, number two. Should I remind you of the position the Communist Party of India took when the Chinese came invading back in the heyday of our bhaichara with China? Do you remember that?
Bhaichara should still be there.
Okay, bhaichara should still be there. Okay, well, viewers,
China
walks in. China designates. 1 second. China designates Indian soil as its own, and we should have bhaichara with them. We should have bilateralism with them. Okay, Dr. Ranganathan comes in and General Bakshi. Yes.
Yes, here, Rahul, please permit me to say you are wrong. I am with Vivek on this.
Yeah.
Communists are not anti-national. They love their nation, China.
Okay. General Bakshi, today we are being lectured by the left. We are being lectured, at least Tehseen Poonawalla had the sense to come out and recognize that sometimes nation states have to act in ways which may not be palatable to a few, but certainly are for the greater good. So I want you to come in, General Saab, and tell us whether we are doing something immoral or we are actually serving our national interests, much like what America has done in the past, what the Brits have done, what the Chinese themselves have done.
Rahul, thank you for coming to the military expert at the end of a military discussion. But I'd like to, reiterate the following. What the Raksha Mantri has said and done is simply to reiterate the national policy that in case there are any mass casualty terror strikes inflicted anywhere in India, we reserve the right to retaliate across the borders. We reserve the right to retaliate across the borders. We have not only articulated this policy, we have shown the political will and resolve to carry it out. I would just like to remind you of the post-Uri strike by our special forces, 2 to 3 kilometers inside, 40 Pakistani terrorists killed in their launch pads. Followed up by the post-Pulwama strike in Balakot, 8 Mirage aircraft with cruise missiles, about 200 plus Pakistani terrorists killed in their training camp. So we have not only articulated a policy option, we have shown the political resolve, the national will to carry these out. Now comes to the second category of counter-terrorist operations. The Mossad of Israel, the former KGB, now the FSB of Russia, have as a standard policy been carrying out clandestine operations in foreign countries to eliminate any terrorists who have carried out attacks on their soil. We have also now been accused of this and added to the list. Well, show us the proof. Show us the proof. Apropos the Guardian, I'm afraid that lady was the art and culture correspondent of the Guardian, and she has suddenly, metamorphosed into a defense expert. She's gone to Pakistan and been wined and dined by the ISI and its cohorts, and her editors haven't even done a basic fact check. They haven't even done a basic fact check. Rahul, the simple fact is she's shown one terrorist who is in our prison as dead. She's, made, Pannu, the dear late, forgotten, etc., etc. It is full of loopholes and, fallacies. I wouldn't give any credence to that. Whether India is doing that policy or not, my simple say is show us the proof. Maybe we are, maybe we are not. Show us the proof. My personal take as a military man, I would rather go with the Uri option, the Balakot option, because that gets you much more kudos internationally, and of course there are heavy payoffs in to the public morale in the country itself. When you go the other route, well, you have some reputational costs, you have some legal problems, but like I said, whether we are doing it or we are not doing it, the onus of proof is on you. And by you, I mean the Pakistanis, the Canadians, the Americans or whatever. Don't give us stories, don't give us innuendos, show us the proof.
Of course, the CIA viewers in enlightened, virtuous, global interests have undertaken regime change, kill all sorts of people. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan, you want to make a point?
Rahul,
And Sanju Verma.
Yes,
one second. Dr. Ranganathan and Sanju Verma has the last word, and then I'm going to move on, viewers. Yes.
Yeah, as you know, Rahul, I greatly admire Tehseen, and I was very happy with the remarks that he made. But this also has to be said, that while Tehseen admired our policy or Prime Minister Modi policy to go deep into Balakot and have those airstrikes, it is a fact on the record that former Air Chief Dhanoa said that in the wake of 26/11, Indian Air Force wanted to go and bomb the terror hideouts in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Dr. Manmohan Singh got cold feet and did not give permission. So Tehseen, I would admire you more if you were to remark on that as well.
Rahul, may I please come in?
Okay.
I think, quickly, I think
Rahul,
Ma'am, is it me or Sanju? Who do you want?
No, just very quickly, Tehseen, respond to that. Sanju Verma comes in. Yeah, right after.
I think circumstances were different at that time. I just one more thing. No, just please allow me to finish. It's extremely important because the selective quoting, I'm done with it. Nobody quotes that how Prime Minister Vajpayee, after the Parliament attacks of 13th December, had the Indian forces lined up, and India saw the largest casualty ever in its history when he didn't go to war, and we had a casualty at a pullback. Nobody even gives credence to the fact that Rajiv Gandhi ji, when he made Arunachal Pradesh a state, we had Operation Slum Checkered Board, and we had the largest Chinese casualty. So look, different prime ministers have different strategies. You cannot, in hindsight, say this is wrong, this is right.
Okay, this is wrong, this is
right. Followed Pakistan and made it a globally designated terror state.
Okay.
Thank
Sanju
you.
Verma. Yes.
You know, Rahul, first and foremost, I think you've already showcased the hypocrisy of the left. Afzal hum sharminda hai, tere qatil zinda hai. Bharat tere tukde honge, inshallah, inshallah. You know, glorifying Afzal Guru, glorifying Kanhaiya Kumar. I did not heckle you. Rahul, can you moderate the debate? This is not done.
Vivek ji, please. No one heckled you when you spoke. No one heckled you.
Thank you.
You did not.
No one heckled.
Now let me tell you what, and I think your audience will identify with what I'm saying. Sometimes, you know, you don't really need to be very verbose.
Yeah.
Osama bin Laden ji, Hafiz Saeed ji, Yaqub Memon ji, Atiq Ahmed ji, Mukhtar Ansari ji. You know, when you start saying Osama bin Laden ji, it clearly shows where your loyalties lie. Combine my last but not the least, just final argument is this. Anyone who wants to know how the left loves China needs to read the email exchange between Prabir Purkayastha of NewsClick and Prakash.
Okay, let's not go there right now because that is sub judice. So I don't want to bring that in and vitiate the debate. I think we made some very solid points, viewers. And the time has come when preemptive military action is also taken into our larger response stratagems. So let's start looking at that picture also, viewers. I want to move on because when we talk about pictures, then there is one emerging in a very suspenseful way in Tamil Nadu. The first ballot will be cast in Tamil Nadu in precisely 14 days or 2 weeks. Many are of the view that this is Tamil Nadu's most pivotal election since 1967 when the DMK wrested power from the Congress for the first time and N. Annadurai became Chief Minister. It's being called a pivotal election because it is being felt that the 2024 polls will set the course for the sun to set on Dravida politics. The BJP riding on PM Modi's messaging is emerging as an alternative, and its Hindutva politics could provide an ideological counterfoil. With the ADMK star said to be waning, the contest in Tamil Nadu has acquired the tone of a genuine three-way fight. The apparent end of the traditional two-flank clash between the DMK and the AIDMK-led fronts has even thrown pollsters off course. And let me put out for you a series of opinion polls that are making very, very different projections about what is really happening in Tamil Nadu. So first is, of course, the News18 opinion poll, where the India Alliance, which is a DMK plus alliance, is thought to be getting 51% of the vote share and 30 seats out of the 39 in Tamil Nadu, the NDA 5, the others 4. The NDA, of course, being primarily the BJP with 13% of the vote share. Viewers, let's look at some others. Let's go through them quickly. The ETG opinion poll, also sort of in the same ballpark, but this time showing the DMK and the Congress combined getting again a vote share in the 40% plus category, but the BJP shown to get a lot more, not 13% as the TV18 poll had shown, but this one putting it up by about 6% and 2 to 6 seats. So the margin is big, but the mean is around 4. The AIDMK getting 17% and the others 20%. Let's look at some of the other opinion polls. The C voter opinion poll, DMK getting 55% of the vote and clean sweep for the DMK just like last time. You also have, of course, a local Tamil channel that has put out a conservative number, 38% of the vote share for the DMK plus. The BJP getting 4 to 6 at 18%, which is something that even the BJP state president believes is the real number for the BJP in vote share terms. Much will, of course, depend on the answer to some unknown questions. Let's go over these questions and structure the debate around them. What are these questions? Has the conventional binary of the Dravid party, DMK and AIDMK, had its day in Tamil politics? If that is indeed the case, the BJP comes in. Has the BJP's inability, however, to unite the opposition that has drawn AIDMK into an alliance splintered the anti-incumbency vote? It's an important question. Will voters looking beyond a splintered AIDMK move to DMK or the NDA? If the AIDMK is collapsing, imploding after J. Jayalalitha, will its votes move, in other words, to the AIDMK plus, the DMK plus or to the NDA? How much has Modi's pro-Tamil messaging and fielding fair share of prominent candidates benefited the NDA? Very important, unstated, unknown. Has Annamalai been able to build BJP up in the voters' minds in Coimbatore, Tirupur, Madurai, Nagarkoil and Kanyakumari? Important area of focus for the BJP. Since welfare schemes and freebies have been part of the political culture for decades in Tamil Nadu, will NDA's guarantees impact voters' choice? Let's open this up. Viewers, we've got much to talk about and we have a very established panel. Let me first begin with Mr. Dharnidharan, spokesperson of the DMK. Now, Mr. Dharnidharan, I have to ask you this question. You're seeing the variations in all the poll projections. Why are the pollsters so confused? If it is a cakewalk, then it's easy to predict. But the pollsters seem to be spun around. Some are giving the BJP 13% vote share, others are giving it almost 20% of the vote share, between 2 and 6 seats. But definitely, there is a surge for the BJP, for the NDA. If voters are making up their minds, and this is reflecting in certain pollsters, what's to say that there isn't actually a silent undercurrent?
See, as a DMK spokesperson, I'll have to be jubilant right now, or maybe over the past few months, right? Because the wave is clearly DMK. In Tamil Nadu, it is DMK versus the others. There's one thing that is constant in all the poll surveys that you showed. That is, both NDA and ADMK, even combined, do not match up to the DMK's vote share. In most poll projection is more than 50%, and probably in one or two, less than 50%, but still we are at least 18 percentage points more than the second biggest party. So that shows how the Dravidian model has worked in Tamil Nadu and the trust people of Tamil Nadu have on our Chief Minister M.K. Stalin.
Okay.
Second important point I like to make is, in an election, even if there are 3% vote share differences, in fact, in 2020, in 2014 election, there were only several percentage point differences, and the ADMK got 39 and we got 0, and in 2019, there was about 10 percentage points difference, and we got 39 and ADMK got 0. Sorry, we got 38 and
38.
ADMK got 1, right?
Yes.
And this time, every poll is showing at least a difference of 50 seats. This has not happened in any state. You go to any state, if the vote difference is more than 10 percentage points between party 1 and party 2, it's always a clean sweep, and more so in a parliament election. Let's see in Uttar Pradesh.
Okay.
Let's see in other states.
So you're doubting the math.
Gujarat.
Okay. So you're doubting the math. Okay, fair enough.
BJP, like in 2020, in 2019, let's go 2019. Let's go to Gujarat. Let's go to Madhya Pradesh, where BJP swept, right?
Well, even if the BJP were to get a maximum 6 seats or 2 seats, it's a huge endorsement for Modi's politics in a state where the BJP last election had only 3%. Let's not forget that, Mr. Dharnidharan. Today it's this much. In 2026, it might be a lot more.
I'm coming there. That's what I'm trying to say. So, the difference was less than the distance that you're projecting for the DMK. I mean, the difference between BJP and Congress in these states is more than what is between DMK and ADMK and
I understand
NDA.
what you're saying.
That's a point. That's an important point. And second thing is, even in 2014, when BJP had a bigger alliance, their vote share was up more than 15%. But when BJP stood alone in 2022 for the municipal polls, the vote share was only 2.5%.
That's what I'm saying. So these polls seeming to suggest that there is anti-incumbency. That's not going to go down very well with the DMK. And if there is... Well, I mean, look at the... Okay, one second. Okay, let me get the other side. Let's get the other side. Because there are polls which are seeming to suggest that the DMK only has around 43% of the vote. There are others, of course, they're putting it beyond 50%. So I understand I'm saying. So listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, sir. I'm saying that you have in some polls plus 50%, in some you're short of 50%. If you're short of 50%, that means there are other voters out there who are not well disposed to you, and they're a majority. Anyhow, let's open this up. You made 3 or 4 points. Let the others also have a chance, if you don't mind. JVC Sriram, let me bring you in. The DMK says that come what may, we are the dominant force. Our ideology is still being underwritten by the voters. What is your view on this?
Good evening, Rahul and other panelists. The first point that I would like to make is DMK is obviously a dominant party as far as Pan Tamil Nadu is concerned. So the question is, are they going to repeat what they did in 2019? The answer is a resounding no. To the point which Mr. Dharnidharan made, that when the gap is more than 20%, you cannot win a seat. I would like to give an example of Telangana. In Telangana in 2019, BJP had a 19% vote share, reflecting in 4 seats, and there was close to around 18% gap with BRS, which backed 9 seats. The reason is because BJP was not spread across the entire state of Telangana. It was confined to the northern and the Hyderabad and Secunderabad. Similarly, in Tamil Nadu, what we are seeing at this point in time, because I have been on an 80-day tour, particularly the last 16 days, I have visited constituencies, spoke to thousands of people in camera, and a team is doing an exhaustive survey for the local newspaper here. Now, what I can tell with confidence is, BJP is certainly opening its account as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned.
Okay.
Now, is that going to be 2? Is that going to be 5 for NDA or 7? Only we will know in the next coming days, because
fair enough.
Last 2-3 days.
Let me bring in Dr. Raman. Dr. Raman, here is another point of view. A man who's traveled for 80 days, gone from constituency to constituency on his own, as he claims, on his own steam, reporting for a local channel there. He is telling you that things are beginning to shift. This is no longer just the Dravidian wall. other ideologies are beginning to penetrate, Dr. Raman?
Rahul, I honestly disagree. This is a straight fight between the DMK and the AIADMK in 90% of seats. The BJP will make a dent in about 3 to 4 seats and potentially could end up winning one, maybe at the outermost limit 2, but I don't even believe that 2 seats are going to be possible. Perhaps they could win 1 seat. That does not make it a huge achievement, because you must remember that even in 2014 the BJP did win 1 seat in Kanyakumari, and one of its allies, the PMK, won 1 seat in Dharmapuri.
Okay.
So even in 2014 they won 2 seats. The NDA, as it were, won 2 seats. It is possible that they could pick up 1 or 2 seats, but beyond that, I don't.
Well, it's interesting because when we spoke, when we put out our projection, you said 0. I remember that very clearly. So even you've sort of now said, okay, maybe 1 or 2.
No.
Oh, you didn't say that.
No,
Okay.
Rahul. No,
Right.
Rahul.
Okay.
I said 1 because I always felt that there was deep south of Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
The BJP has had a presence for the last 30 years. So there is no, I've never said that they will 100% end up at 0. But it could be 0 to 1 to 2. But it's not going to be 5 or 6 as you have projected.
Okay.
Let me, 1 minute. 1 minute. You have to understand, Rahul, that there are multiple seats where there is still almost about 15 days time for the voting to happen.
Sure.
So the campaign is evolving, but
Well,
at
the Prime
this
Minister
point
is
of
going
time,
in a few days.
one point
so
I
even
will
the
assure you,
BJP's
there is
main
no
vote
way-
catcher has not hit the ground. Okay, so you made that point. You made that
No,
point.
one-
Let me
one
bring
last
in Mr.
point,
Nagaraj.
One point.
Yeah.
One point.
Yeah.
There is no way that the BJP or NDA's vote share is going to be more than the AIADMK's vote share. I can give you
Okay,
a
so you don't believe that the AIADMK is imploding on itself. Okay, Mr. Nagarajan,
No,
let
it
me
isn't.
ask you this. Has the conventional binary of Dravid politics, DMK and AIADMK, had its day? Is this really a contest between the DMK and the AIADMK, or is it a contest between the DMK and perhaps the BJP plus?
See, Henry Ford said that if he asked people what he wanted, they would have said faster horses. In 2004 and 5, we would not have expected an iPhone. I'm pointing to these things because these represent inflection point. Okay, so extrapolation from the past will not matter. That is exactly what is happening with Tamil Nadu politics. This is 2024 is going to be a trend-setting election, like what happened with Uttar Pradesh in 2014. Uttar Pradesh, BJP won 72, and that has set the trend for the assembly elections later and the parliamentary elections later. 2024 for Tamil Nadu is one such an election. And this is based on 3 different things happening simultaneously. One is the division of ADMK between the EPS and OPS factions. We do not know the strengths of each. One claims that it is stronger than the other. Second is, obviously, the DMK was at its peak from 2019 to 2021. It's coming down because of corruption allegations, misgovernance, etc. We do not know how much it will affect the voters. We have to wait and see. And third important factor is the rise of Annamalai and the politics of development that PM Modi has assured, and also his repeated visits to Tamil Nadu. So, lot of these moving parts are simultaneously happening. So, we have to wait and see what it happens. So, I don't think if anybody says it's going to be a bipolar politics between ADMK and DMK, it's disingenuous and plainly boring. I don't think it is possible at all. And many of these surveys that you show clearly show that there is a chance of BJP becoming the second pole. That is the biggest game in town. It is not about the number 1 spot. We all know that DMK is doing pretty well. So who is going to be the number 2 is the game in town. We have to see how the vote share pans out. Any seat that BJP gets is icing on the cake. We have to see whether they cross the 20% mark.
Okay, so let me ask the DMK spokesperson very quickly. I don't have much time. I just want to ask you, sir, if the BJP appears as the single largest after the DMK and the Congress alliance, just asking you, would you begin to accept the fact that perhaps your singular attack on Sanatan Dharma, etc., was misplaced, misdirected, misconceived?
No, I think people in Tamil Nadu hate the BJP.
Okay.
And I do not think BJP has any grassroots presence.
Okay.
To win an election, you need booth level workers. I do not see BJP having any booth level workers anywhere You need 20,000 workers per constituency, booth BLA2 and booth committee. Where do they have that?
Okay, JVC Sriram, they don't even have booth level workers. What are you talking?
Right. So the
I think that's what I've been
number
questioning
of
Dharmendra
members.
everywhere. How does he know that there are no booth level workers? You know
Okay.
about the Sangathan. You know about the organization.
Well-
I can tell you a seat, Rahul.
Well, viewers, the very fact that we are having a
intervening.
conversation riddled with possibilities tells you that this is a pivotal election. Perhaps it's a 1967 kind of election. I don't know, viewers, but there is something happening on the ground. I'm leaving it at this. We're right back. Don't go away.
राजा जी, चाइना से थोड़ा पाकिस्तान की ओर मुड़ते हैं। अभी कल ही जो है गार्डियन, फॉरेन पब्लिकेशन है गार्डियन, उसमें एक आर्टिकल आया है। उसमें कहा है, उस आर्टिकल ने कहा है कि जो है भारत ने पाकिस्तान की धरती में 20 लोगों को, 20 इंडिविजुअल्स को, टेररिस्ट को जो है पिछले कुछ सालों में मारा है, उन्हीं की धरती में जाके मारा है। और जो है इस पर तमाम क्या कहते हैं, उन्होंने बहुत रिसर्च की है, बहुत लोगों से बात की है। ये पहले हम लोगों के बारे में कनाडा में भी बोला गया, यूएस में भी ये चर्चा हुई पहले, पर पाकिस्तान की ये नई चर्चा है, 20 लोग। तो इसको आप कैसे देखते हैं कि ये क्या, उस आर्टिकल में ये भी कहा है कि जो है भारत जो है केजीबी और मोसाद से जो है काफ़ी इन्फ्लुएंस्ड है, तो उनकी भी जो इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसी है, रॉ वगैरह, इस तरीके का काम कर रही हैं। कोई स्लीपर सेल है यूएई में, उसने जो है इसमें उसका रोल रहा है। और 20 लोगों को, मतलब एक आध लोग नहीं, 20 टेररिस्ट को जो है हमने कुछ सालों में मारा है।
20 टेररिस्ट को मारा है?
हाँ जी, मतलब टेररिस्ट कह लीजिए, लोगों कह लीजिए, पर वहाँ उनकी धरती में मारा है।
कोई भी टेररिस्ट हमारे पड़ोसी देश से यदि भारत को डिस्टर्ब करने की कोशिश करेगा
जी,
यहां पर यदि आतंकवादी हरकतें करेगा तो उसका मुंह तोड़ जवाब देंगे। यदि वो भगकर पाकिस्तान में जाएगा तो पाकिस्तान में घुस कर मारेंगे।
तो ये बात आप मतलब कह रहे हैं, जो प्रधानमंत्री भी कह रहे हैं कि अब वो भारत नहीं रहा जो कि बगल में खड़े होकर तमाशा देखता रहेगा, घर में घुस कर मारेगा।
बिल्कुल, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो कहा है बिल्कुल सच कहा है, और यह ताकत है भारत की, और पाकिस्तान भी इसे समझने लगा है। वैसे भारत बराबर अपने पड़ोसी देशों के साथ अच्छे रिश्ते बनाकर रखना चाहता है, चाहे कोई भी हमारा पड़ोसी देश है। और आज देखा होगा आपने, पास्ट हिस्ट्री उठाकर देखिए कि आज तक न तो हमने दुनिया के किसी देश पर कभी आक्रमण किया है अथवा आक्रमण की कोई पहल की हो, कभी नहीं किया, और न तो दुनिया के किसी देश की 1 इंच जमीन पर हम लोगों ने कभी कब्जा करने की कोशिश की है। यह भारत का चरित्र रहा है
जी।
लेकिन भारत को बार बार कोई आंख दिखाएगा, भारत में आकर आतंकवादी गतिविधियों को बढ़ावा कर देने की कोशिश करेगा, तो उसकी खैर नहीं है।
राजा जी, चाइना से थोड़ा पाकिस्तान की ओर मुड़ते हैं। अभी कल ही जो है गार्डियन, फॉरेन पब्लिकेशन है गार्डियन, उसमें एक आर्टिकल आया है। उसमें कहा है, उस आर्टिकल ने कहा है कि जो है भारत ने पाकिस्तान की धरती में 20 लोगों को, 20 इंडिविजुअल्स को, टेररिस्ट को जो है पिछले कुछ सालों में मारा है, उन्हीं की धरती में जाके मारा है। और जो है केजरीवाल जी की अरेस्ट को लेकर यूनाइटेड नेशंस ने भी कहा है कि देश में चुनाव फ्री और फेयर होने चाहिए।
यूनाइटेड नेशन कौन होता है हमारे बारे में कहने वाला फ्री एंड फेयर होने चाहिए? क्या इसके पहले फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शंस नहीं हुए थे? मान लिया कि एजेंसी ने गलत गिरफ्तार किया, चीफ मिनिस्टर को, डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर, किसी को गिरफ्तार किया, तो कोर्ट के द्वारा राहत क्यों नहीं मिल पा रही? पहले से अधिक सीटों पर विजय प्राप्त होगी। कोशिश हमारी यह है कि 18 का 36 कर लें।
राजा जी, चाइना से थोड़ा पाकिस्तान की ओर मुड़ते हैं। अभी कल ही जो है गार्डियन, फॉरेन पब्लिकेशन है गार्डियन, उसमें एक आर्टिकल आया है। उसमें कहा है, उस आर्टिकल ने कहा है कि जो है भारत ने पाकिस्तान की धरती में 20 लोगों को, 20 इंडिविजुअल्स को, टेररिस्ट को जो है पिछले कुछ सालों में मारा है, उन्हीं की धरती में जाके मारा है। और जो है इस पर तमाम क्या कहते हैं, उन्होंने बहुत रिसर्च की है, बहुत लोगों से बात की है। ये पहले हम लोगों के बारे में कनाडा में भी बोला गया, यूएस में भी ये चर्चा हुई पहले, पर पाकिस्तान की ये नई चर्चा है, 20 लोग। तो इसको आप कैसे देखते हैं कि ये क्या, उस आर्टिकल में ये भी कहा है कि जो है भारत जो है केजीबी और मुसाद से जो है काफ़ी इन्फ्लुएंस्ड है, तो उनकी भी जो इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसी है, रॉ वगैरह, इस तरीके का काम कर रही है। कोई स्लीपर सेल है यूएई में, उसने जो है इसमें उसका रोल रहा है। और 20 लोगों को, मतलब एक आध लोग नहीं, 20 टेररिस्ट को जो है हमने कुछ सालों में मारा है।
20 टेररिस्ट को मारा है?
हाँ जी, मतलब टेररिस्ट कह लीजिए, लोगों कह लीजिए, पर वहाँ उनकी धरती में मारा है।
कोई भी टेररिस्ट हमारे पड़ोसी देश है, यदि भारत को डिस्टर्ब करने की कोशिश करेगा
जी,
यहां पर यदि आतंकवादी हरकतें करेगा तो उसका मुंह तोड़ जवाब देंगे। यदि वो भगकर पाकिस्तान में जाएगा तो पाकिस्तान में घुस कर मारेंगे।
तो ये बात आप मतलब कह रहे हैं, जो प्रधानमंत्री भी कह रहे हैं कि अब वो भारत नहीं रहा जो कि बगल में खड़े होकर तमाशा देखता रहेगा, घर में घुस कर मारेगा।
बिल्कुल, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो कहा है बिल्कुल सच कहा है, और यह ताकत है भारत की, और पाकिस्तान भी इसे समझने लगा है। वैसे भारत बराबर अपने पड़ोसी देशों के साथ अच्छे रिश्ते बनाकर रखना चाहता है, चाहे कोई भी हमारा पड़ोसी देश है। और आज देखा होगा आपने, पास्ट हिस्ट्री उठाकर देखिए कि आज तक न तो हमने दुनिया के किसी देश पर कभी आक्रमण किया है अथवा आक्रमण की कोई पहल की हो, कभी नहीं किया, और न तो दुनिया के किसी देश की 1 इंच जमीन पर हम लोगों ने कभी कब्जा करने की कोशिश की है। यह भारत का चरित्र रहा है
जी।
लेकिन भारत को बार बार कोई आंख दिखाएगा, भारत में आकर आतंकवादी गतिविधियों को बढ़ावा कर देने की कोशिश करेगा, तो उसकी खैर नहीं है।
राजा जी, चाइना से थोड़ा पाकिस्तान की ओर मुड़ते हैं। अभी कल ही जो है गार्डियन, फॉरेन पब्लिकेशन है गार्डियन, उसमें एक आर्टिकल आया है। उसमें कहा है, उस आर्टिकल ने कहा है कि जो है भारत ने पाकिस्तान की धरती में 20 लोगों को, 20 इंडिविजुअल्स को, टेररिस्ट को जो है पिछले कुछ सालों में मारा है, उन्हीं की धरती में जाके मारा है। और जो है इस पर तमाम क्या कहते हैं, उन्होंने बहुत रिसर्च की है, बहुत लोगों से बात की है। ये पहले हम लोगों के बारे में कनाडा में भी बोला गया, यूएस में भी ये चर्चा हुई पहले, पर पाकिस्तान की ये नई चर्चा है, 20 लोग। तो इसको आप कैसे देखते हैं कि ये क्या, उस आर्टिकल में ये भी कहा है कि जो है भारत जो है केजीबी और मुसाद से जो है काफ़ी इन्फ्लुएंस्ड है, तो उनकी भी जो इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसी है, रॉ वगैरह, इस तरीके का काम कर रही है।
मेरा सबसे पहला सवाल आपको यही है कि जब आपने डिसाइड किया ये इलेक्शन कंटेस्ट करना, आपके जहन में क्या है बारामती के लिए, विजन क्या है आपके जहन में?
आपको पता है कि बारामती एक विकास का मॉडल बन के उभर आया है जी। और मैं पूरी लोकसभा चुनाव क्षेत्र के लिए वैसा बारामती पैटर्न सब जगह करना चाहती हूँ।
जो हम कहते हैं कि बारामती पैटर्न, क्योंकि आपने जैसे कहा हर कोई यही कहता है कि बारामती एक मॉडल टाउन है, लोग बाहर से आते हैं बारामती देखने के लिए। तो मेरा आपसे सवाल यह है कि अगर आप एमपी बनती है, ये चुनाव जीतती है, तो ऐसी कौन सी चीज जो पहली, मतलब प्रायोरिटी जिसे हम कहते हैं कि ये चीज मुझे करनी है, शायद से इतने सालों में ये चीज हुई नहीं है?
आपको पता है कि बहुत सारे युवक जो है बाहर पढ़ने जाते हैं, IT वगैरह, इसके लिए जो रेलवे जो होती है उनका कनेक्टिविटी होती है, वो कनेक्टिविटी मैं जल्दी बनाना चाहती हूँ। क्योंकि क्या है कि हर एक गांव के या हर एक तालुका के लोगों को पूना जाना पड़ता है या बम्बई जाना पड़ता है, तो इसके लिए समझो कनेक्टिविटी है तो वो अपनी जगह ही अच्छा है।
केजरीवाल जी के अरेस्ट को लेकर यूनाइटेड नेशंस ने भी कहा है कि देश में चुनाव फ्री और फेयर होने चाहिए।
यूनाइटेड नेशन कौन होता है हमारे बारे में कहने वाला फ्री एंड फेयर होने चाहिए? क्या इसके पहले फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शंस नहीं हुए थे? मान लिया कि एजेंसी ने गलत गिरफ्तार किया, चीफ मिनिस्टर को, डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर, किसी को गिरफ्तार किया, तो कोर्ट के द्वारा राहत क्यों नहीं मिल पा रही? पहले से अधिक सीटों पर विजय प्राप्त होगी। कोशिश हमारी यह है कि 18 का 36 कर लें।
राजनाथ जी, पहले तो आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद नेटवर्क 18 को ये एक्सक्लूसिव इंटरव्यू देने के लिए। आप हमारे माध्यम से आपको देश भर में 20 चैनलों के द्वारा देखा जाएगा। हम लोग 15 भाषा में आपको देश भर में जो है उपस्थित हैं। मेरा पहला सवाल, आप मैनिफेस्टो कमेटी के चेयरमैन भी हैं, तो मैंने कहा पहला एक लार्जर क्वेश्चन से शुरू करते हैं। पिछले अगर मोदी सरकार की उपलब्धियां देखी जाए तो आप लोगों ने बहुत काम किए। आप लोगों ने आर्टिकल 370 को रिपील किया, CA लाए, 33% विमेन रिजर्वेशन भी आया, सबसे बड़ा इधर राम मंदिर की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा भी 22 जनवरी को हुई। तो ये सब तो पिछले आपकी उपलब्धियों के बारे में हो गया। अब के मैनिफेस्टो में सबसे बड़ी चीज़ें आप क्या लेकर आएंगे?
वैसे इस बार के मैनिफेस्टो का जहाँ तक प्रश्न है, जब वो रिलीज़ होगा